Hello everyone, this is Angela here, and today I'm going to be talking about online dating. And today's topic is going to be separated men, okay, or separated women. But for the purposes of this video, we're going to talk about separated men. First of all, a separated man, no matter what his circumstances is a married man. Okay, that's just down the line. If you get involved with a man who's separated, or if you get or a woman who's separated, you are getting involved with someone who is legally married. I'm just letting you know that. So I'm here to share my story about a situation to where I had kind of gotten hoodwinked by a guy that was separated, but I ended up turning the tide on him. And so I'm going to share my story. I had met this guy on online dating, and you're going to find this a lot with people who say that they're separated on the older websites, because people for like websites for older people. They're basically, some of these people are married men willing to cheat. Okay, they're trying to cheat, so it'll tell you they're separated. And then you got the other type of separated men who really are separated, but they're just not going to move on with. They're not moving on. Okay, they're not moving on. And the way I feel about it is, if you get involved with someone who's separated, you're basically looking for a lot of drama and a lot of nonsense that you simply don't need. First of all, you don't know if that person's being truthful. Okay, they may be separated in their minds, but not really separated. Okay, so I meet this guy named Leo on one of the on the website. Okay, I have been doing online dating. I don't think it's a terrible thing. I just think that you need to understand logic, reason, and common sense, and have a set of standards to live by in order to protect yourself, and rules. Okay, so that A, you don't get hoodwinked, B, you don't get used, and C, you don't get financially drained. Okay, by some con artist. So I meet this guy, Leo. I was talking to him, and he really sounded genuine at first. Okay. He was talking about how he was separated, and that he's been that way for 15 years, and that his uh, wife was had an addiction problem, and she was in criminal trouble, like with DUIs and all this other stuff, and all this stuff turned out to be true. It was really true. And he's like, I'm fed up. It's been 50. I just gotta we've been away all that time. We're not even together. And um so I'm ready to get a divorce, and I'm listening and all, and I'm empathetic, and I'm like, well, if you need an attorney, I can get you an attorney. I know someone who's an excellent attorney. And he actually said, yeah, he wanted to get with the attorney. So long story short, he talked to the attorney, but he had no plans on divorcing her. And another red flag that I saw was the fact that his daughter, okay, was living. I mean, this daughter was a professional. I don't want to get too personal with someone else's business, but this woman was a professional. Okay. And she was making well more than enough money to be out on her own. And she was living at home in the dysfunction with her mother. And the point is that I saw that as a red flag of enmeshment, and this is a red flag of narcissism. So that kind of unnerved me. And then, after, he thought that he had sealed the deal with us being together, I told him flat out, I said, look, I don't want to get involved with someone that's separated. That's just, I'm not on board with that. And he assured me that it was over. And they're very clever. They're very clever. That's why you got to pay attention. So here he's like, I said to him, well, are you going to file for divorce? And he's like, I'm thinking about it. That's when the string along game starts. I'm thinking about it. I've got this thing to do. I've got that thing to do. I've got this coming up. It's always an excuse. Okay. Now, mind you, nothing happened. I hadn't even meet this person. So then he was like, start asking me things about myself and my life and things that I kind of, he was like, I want to be with you. I want to be together. Offered to fix my bathroom, do things around my house and all this stuff. First of all, I don't want nobody in my house that I don't know. And secondly, I can well afford to pay for whatever repairs, and my landlord's actually responsible for paying for stuff. But if I needed something fixed where my landlord wasn't responsible, I'd rather pay myself than depend on someone for whatever. I don't want to be indebted to someone. That's just a standard that I go by. So this person, I started to he started to flatter me, and with all the nonsense, with all the charisma that a man flatters a woman with, and it's like, you're so smart and you're so talented. How do you know all these things? And well, I should have met you 30 years ago, and they love to put you on that pedestal. And I'm like, But yet when it comes time to walk the walk and not talk the talk, okay, it's time to walk the walk, they fall short in putting forth the effort, but instead string you along. And so that's where I found myself with this individual. So it's like, okay, I wonder how many other women that you played on here. But guess what, pal? You're about to get played. And that's what I was thinking in my mind, okay? So I decided, well, since he wasted my time, I'm going to make him pay for it. I'm going to make him pay for it. So, I started to flatter him, started to give just a little bit, making him think that we were going to have this hot romantic date and that things were going to go well between us. That I really was into him and I really liked him, which I really wasn't. So what happened was, I agreed to meet him in a public place in a restaurant, and he agreed to take me out to dinner. So, I agreed on, and like, cause he lived 45 minutes away from me, and I wasn't driving to him. So I'm like, you want to go out with me? You got to come up my way. Okay. So I picked a place that was pretty much about half hour walking distance. Okay. So it took me like literally 5 minutes to drive there from my house. So I go there and, I'm ordering up drinks, and I had this like mini mukbang feast, eating pizza and chicken wings and all this other stuff. And, we sat there and we talked for 3 hours and we were laughing and giggling. And then it was time to go. And I'm like, well, I guess I'll call this a night. And he's like, oh, we could go somewhere else, let's go to another bar and everything. I'm like, nah. I'm like, I really don't feel comfortable drinking and driving, and it's late, and I really gotta go. But it's been wonderful. Have a good night. So then he texted me, and after that, he was like, you really disappointed me. He said, you really disappointed me. Now, mind you, I just met this person, okay? I didn't even really know this person. I just met him, and he wanted to go someplace else because he wanted what he wanted. You know what he wanted. So I want to share with you what I told him. I said to him, I said, Leo, you knew that I wasn't going to go for you if you did not get a divorce. I don't do married men. You embarrassed me and wasted the attorney's time. He gets paid for his time, and that was a favor he did for me. How do you think that makes me feel? If you had been straight up to begin with, we could have avoided all of this. You are a married man, and that's a fact. You are not free to pursue a relationship, and you are looking for a mistress on the back street. Well, you go find yourself that woman, but that woman is not me. Now I'm done with this. And I said, I think you should apologize for playing me as a fool. But as you saw, I turned the tables on you, because at the end of the day, you picked up the tab and went home empty handed. Oh, well. And he was really upset. But the moral of the story is, ladies, okay, and gentlemen, let me tell you something. In the United States, and this is probably in every state of the United States, okay, a wife is not a paramour. A wife is it's a legal bonding contract. And even if you try to disown your spouse out of your will, there's laws that say you cannot totally disinherit your spouse from what's called her elective share or his elective share, okay, of that person's estate should they die. So if you're a mistress and you're building a relationship with a man who's legally married to someone else, you're basically building a relationship on quicksand, because basically the wife is going to end up with everything, and you're going to end up throwing your life away by somebody who is going to keep you on the back street. You're always going to be the mistress. You're always going to be, oh, he's always going to introduce you as his quote unquote friend. You're never going to be number one, and you deserve better than that. You are the queen, okay? You go through the front door arm in arm with your man. It's not worth hiding in the shadows with some man on an adulterous affair. No matter what the circumstances is, there's always a way out. If you're unhappily married, yeah, it's going to cost money. But if you really love someone else and want to be with someone else, you can build back up, cut your losses and move on. But there are people out there that don't want to do that. They don't want to part with their money. They want their cake and eat it too. And that's just the reality of life. But that's all I've got to say for this video. Thanks for watching, and have a great night. Hope to see you again real soon. Take care.